All right, welcome to Phoenix, Week 9, FSB Racing. It's hot, it's sunny, it's going to be slick based off the track temperatures I just saw. But we're glad you're here. Here with me tonight, I've got Milt Minter Jr. and Adam Roberts in the booth with me. Say what's up, guys.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
All right, we're in for a pretty good race tonight. I feel like I said, the track is hot. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up those track temperatures here real quick, if I can get everything to load. In the meantime, let's talk about the current point standings. What do you got, Adam?
Yeah. So the top five are still pretty close. Of course, Shane is in top spot. He's got 151 points. And then Justin Bird is not too far behind, only 14 points back at 137. And then the rest, you got Rob Stewart, who's just only 6 behind Justin. And it looks like Rob qualified 4th while Justin's in 2nd tonight. So, Rob, play some strategy, finish in front of Justin, gain some spots on him. You got Guy Petra, who's in 4th. He's only 20 behind Rob, 40 behind Shane total. And then TJ Reese rounds out your top 5. He's 21 behind Guy and 61 total behind Shane. So, that's still pretty tight race up there.
Yeah.
And then you go down all the way. Our pole sitter Roger, he's 85 behind, but if he has a really good race tonight, he could move up probably quite significant in the points to maybe even 7th, 6th, depending on what the other guys do. So
Wow.
he has a good points day. He could really move up there.
Wow. Yeah. It's like I said, it's still anyone's championship, especially for that top 3. This race could really make a difference. We're coming down to the end. This is race 9 of 12. So after this, we have 3 more. I think the road course last week, people made up some points there because we had a few no-shows. Like I said, people don't like turning left, so they didn't want to come out for that one. That can always. Of course, we do have one drop week, so people could have elected to take their drop for the road course.
Yeah, definitely. So, this track is going to be fast. How many laps are they doing tonight at this track?
That's a good question. I would have it pulled up here, but having a hard time loading some of this software.
Let me see here. What are they doing? 100 laps. So, 100 laps. What are they running? What are the lap times? It seems like they're running 29, 28-second laps. So,
yeah,
be a fast race.
And it's interesting too. I think we're running this one with the open dog leg, so they have the option to cut it if they want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that will be interesting. That start's going to be very interesting.
Well, if you've watched any of the races this weekend, they were badass and exciting and down to the wire, beating and banging, coming out of turn 4 there, which for me, I raced on this track in NASCAR 2003. The corners were different.
Yeah.
The numbers, the pit road, everything is backwards now. But man, have they created a wonderful race here. And now in iRacing, the simulation of what the real guys do is so close. It just never ceases to amaze me. I mean, this is where you want to be, dude. PlayStation, forget that stuff, man. Come do some iRacing. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it.
And it's not easy.
No, it is not.
There we go. Finally got the overlay to work.
All right.
I can finally tell you all about the track temperature I was talking about earlier. 121 degrees Fahrenheit. So that could prove to be a little difficult
Mm-hmm.
in some of these turns, but you know, it's all in how you drive it, and if you can keep your foot off the gas in certain spots, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
121. That's why it's so slick out there.
Yeah.
We got Sean Reaping here
Hey,
with
I
us.
know that voice.
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah.
guy.
One of the OG broadcasters.
Baby.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Oh, doing great, doing great. I'm actually glad you hopped in here because I was wanting to know what it's driving like out there. You mentioned that it was slick, much like I had assumed.
Yeah, it's driving like a greased pig.
Oh no.
Can you go on a tank or a set of tires?
You're gonna see a lot of people spinning their wheels off. Oh, good lord, what turn is it now? I guess it's turn 2 now. They reconfigured this inexplicably. So heading into the straightaway, you're gonna see that's where you're gonna see cars spinning tonight.
Quick question: Are
How
you
far
going?
can you go on a tank of fuel and tires? How far you think before you're gonna have to pit it if it goes
Honestly, I
green?
never looked at it. I never looked at it in practice. I was just focusing on surviving.
Oh no.
I
don't like the
I'm
sound of
shaking
this.
off a lot of rust here.
That's
and
true.
I'm
It's
trying
true.
to unlearn old habits. This was one of my best tracks in 2003.
Hey, brother, I feel you, dude. You know, more power to you, man. I mean, in NASCAR 2003, you were the best I've ever seen, and it's hard to come to a new sim and
Appreciate
try
that.
something different. No, that's
Appreciate that, but
well, you know.
I can think of some that definitely were a cut above
Well, you
Watkins
know
for
what?
sure.
Look at the record book. Championships,
Yeah, this is-
wins. You got a lot of them, dude.
Thanks, man. I might pop in again later if we catch a caution. But right now we're getting ready to go
Absolutely.
green, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man.
hop back out and have a good
Good to
broadcast,
hear.
guys.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, when you consider Sean, you know, in NASCAR 2003, you have the option of different views, and in iRacing, you don't, you know, and just the whole physics of everything is different, and it changes all the time. If you're gonna run something, you gotta run it a lot as
Yep.
we get ready to go green.
I say, here we
Yeah, here we
go.
go.
It's about time. They got to be careful not to drop below the start-finish line on the
Right.
starts, otherwise they'll get a penalty.
Yep, they're
And
taking that dog leg.
taking the dog leg. That was gonna be my question for Sean: is are you going to take the dog leg or not? Because a lot of drivers won't do that. They say like I know in like NASCAR they say that taking the dog leg or cutting the dog leg rather can damage your car. I don't know how well that translates to the sim, but
Yeah,
be curious to know
exactly.
if it does or not.
Yep, they were saying that all weekend, you know, in both, you know, one little dink on that, and iRacing does do that. The question is, you know, how hard do you got to beat it up before you notice it? And will they fix it, you know, differently than the real guys?
Yeah.
Saucier there and Bird. There's that guy, number 13.
Yeah.
He's always up front.
He is.
The keyboard guy that turned into, you know, he's a badass, man.
Oh, he is. Got Tony Brewer out there with us again. Good to see him. Rob
Yeah,
Stewart
the 12,
following close behind.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, these top two, side by side. Been this way since lap 1. They're really taking that dog leg. They're going way deep.
Gotta be careful. There's a wall right there too. If you're not careful, you'll clip it.
Yeah, that's what happened to Austin Hill in the Xfinity race. Look at that. He was following a car and thought he could peek down low to see, and he peeked into the wall
Peaked a little too much, huh?
and wiped out a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Well, Elvis has left the building with these two guys.
Yeah.
Like Benny Hogan. Haven't seen Benny Hogan in a while. Number 77.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah, these guys are all
a heck of a
running the
racer.
same setup too. So what that means is like there's different classes in iRacing where you can run fixed setups or custom setups. You can buy setups. You can build your own, which is way difficult. And but you know, everybody's got the same setup. So it's all about the driver.
Yep.
Got Jim Ray checking in here with us
The
on
man,
the
myth,
YouTube
the
chat.
legend.
The man who started it all.
Dude, he is all in RC racing now, and you know, is on a team, and that guy gets a hold of something, man. He don't let go.
Yep.
And these two up front are really.
Good, clean racing thus far,
Yeah.
just like we saw last week. Really, you know, I mean, they went for it at the end. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, if you make a mistake, but you know, it happens. But you know, I mean, all the race was very clean.
Riding along here with Sean Reap now, as he knocks the dust off, using his words, not mine.
Well, if you want to talk about like a NASCAR historian, he's like, you know, I know Ken Soska is very astute and went to a lot of races back in the 90s, you know, saw a lot of stuff. This guy also has been around and knows a lot about the history of racing. You know, everybody gets in this sim racing through a different way, you know, but racing is that common denominator.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm watching these the two front guys, Roger and Justin. They're running side by side, and Justin got a little loose there. Looks like Roger takes the lead going into 3 up here, but that allowed Benny to catch kind of up. He's only now 0.8, 0.7 seconds behind. He was almost 2 seconds back, but allowed him to reel them in a little bit. Now, stay there, or he'll fall back a little bit. We'll see, but he's right there.
Absolutely, they're coming back, and you know, tire wear was a theme with the real cars.
Mm-hmm.
And talking to Guy Fitra and Ken Soska, also running their NIS races in iRacing, you know, those can be brutal.
Yeah.
Man, I never heard so much flaming in my life, dude. I just couldn't handle that, man. That's what I like about FSB is, you know, can't do that, you know.
No.
Yeah, we don't tolerate that here, that's for sure.
I got enough trouble trying to get through my life, you know, and you know, this is like somewhere where you go and escape from reality for a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun.
Exactly. Yeah. Why come here just to be angry? You know.
I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, man. Anyway, yeah. We got a nice pack here.
Yeah, they're still bunched up. I mean, nobody's really dropped off.
No, but yeah, Benny is caught right up to them.
Benny's the real deal. He raced the late models with us a lot.
Okay.
I don't know how many. He's definitely raced more in the late models than he has in the Xfinity races. But he's a good driver.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how he does tonight. Which reminds me, we didn't pick our drivers. We didn't put a curse on anybody. So
yeah.
probably for the best though.
Yeah.
Probably for the
Nobody
best.
can blame us for jinxing them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Poor Ken. I've gotten him every time. I think every time I've picked him, something's happened.
You taking a look at Benny there in the 77, first time I seen him, but you know what you see is, if you watch racing, you watch the guy there that the 2 leaders pulled out ahead and worked. That's legends of the past at FSB like Rick Johnson and Damon Gostella. You would think Kevin Lewis, they'd be back there. You think, yeah, and then you start using your stuff up, and here they come.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of discipline and skill to run at a pace and then all of a sudden kick it in, or just to have that pace that's perfect for the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful graphics. Watching on my big screen, man, it's like I'm watching Fox Sports,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
I'm old, man, so I've been around when I had that little tiny square, 15-inch screen, and my, sidewinder steering wheel in a folding chair.
Oh, the
That
sidewinder.
that was your rig,
Oh,
dude.
what we got here?
Yeah, somebody in the wall there.
Yeah.
Manny,
I
I
could-
think.
Yeah, I think he might have
Yes,
grazed it. We got a caution. Somebody.
Yeah, caution. Cautions
Looks
breed
like
cautions.
Dan. My log is saying Dan Jones, so yeah, he's got some damage. So
Yeah, he's definitely got some damage there.
I'm gonna hit the replay.
Oh yeah.
here.
Oh gosh. Oh,
Oh, he's hitting the
he's
wall
got something
again.
broke. Something's broke.
Oh, we're gonna
He just
find out here.
yeah, something was broke.
Into the wall. Sorry, Dan.
We can look.
All right, I'm got the replay pulled up here now.
got the replay.
See, you're gonna give it a little slow motion look here. Actually,
Yeah, he kept it down there, but he left room, and the 62 drifted up. We saw that so much in the real racing, and that you could see a little net code there.
Yeah, so he drifted up, but I'm not sure he actually made contact. Yeah.
Yeah, that's net code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was still 2 feet there. Well, and
Yeah.
the thing is, in sim racing, everybody lives all over the world, and everything is going at the speed of light and in a cable into one place and then going back to you at the speed of light. And sometimes it don't work out right there. That didn't look good. I'm watching Adam's replay, which is not off the broadcast. It's live. And, he did which I appreciate that, Adam, because I got to see that and talk about it in real time, which makes it much more like I'm there, right?
Yeah, we had some guys. Guy did not pit. I don't know if he's just trying to lead a lap.
Yeah, because he can get a point by just leading 1 lap, and a lot of guys will do that under caution, which can be accomplished by just pitting late, where everybody else in front of them goes in. So Sean had a name for that. I can't remember what he used to call it. It was named after somebody, I guess, who was famous for doing that, a driver in the past. Milt, you may recall.
What
I don't know.
What was that?
Sean used to call it a when somebody would stay out during a caution, he would say, oh, so and so, is getting their point, but he would call it by somebody's name. I guess somebody who was famous for doing that. I'll have to ask him about that when we talk to him.
We're always in the back anyway, so
yeah.
Which God bless him. I mean, just to get to that level is pretty hard.
Looks like they're going to go. I don't think he pit. He did not pit. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
He's on 20 lap old tires. So.
Where's the rest of the field at? I'm only seeing like 12 cars here.
Well, I know the real guys. They were looking at even maybe 60 laps on the.
Ooh, 3 wide. Look at this. 3 wide across the line.
There's a around them. He must be on some strategy.
If the wire's in the pits, that's interesting. I wonder what happened to him.
Well, he's definitely going
Backwards.
backwards, so
Uh-oh.
that didn't work. Yeah, I'm not seeing him for usually making a move like that. So something happened there where he got confused, or unless he thought there'd be a crash right away there. But
Maybe. Yeah, in 2 laps, he's already back to 6th. And he was 4th. So I don't know. I don't understand that strategy call. But
no, sir.
no.
All gun in there, and Bird all over
Ooh, 77 get a little loose.
Dossier there.
Managed to save it though. That would have been a bad spot to hit there, that inside wall, but he was able to prevent it.
Yeah, that was close. You could see the dust kick up, which is bitching. Doesn't that look cool? Sean Reed there running PA. Not too shabby, What it's like, to run stock cars in iRacing. It's difficult, and trucks, and I mean it's just not the same. It's much, it takes much more skill.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't think I've seen Roger, or not Roger, but Benny take that dog leg. He's definitely not taking the shortcut like the other 2 guys have been.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, I'm not sure how much. Like, I'm not sure what the advantage. I mean, I guess there is somewhat of an advantage. It's obviously a shorter distance, but there's got to be some drawback to it as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's the exit. It's like, you get ahead of the car on the outside, but then you got to go into the corner and make a sharp left,
right,
where the other guy is making a nice arcing left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he may have run, some official races or practice or whatever in iRacing, and to keep up and to be top notch, you gotta dedicate some time to this stuff. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna just show up and win.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that at the start it's probably like just to get like a good launch, at the drop of the green flag. But, that is the 3rd time Roger's hit the wall. I don't know if it's net lag, but on my screen he's hit the wall 3 times. The past 3 laps coming out of that turn. I know.
Yeah, and those, these cars are pretty tough, but slows you down in the sim and in real life.
Didn't there, so.
Reaping that 62, solid, I mean, solid.
Looks like, there goes Benny. He finally did it. He took the dog leg once. He just passed Justin.
Yeah, it's Strategic.
Yeah.
Well, and if you know it might damage your car, you got to choose. You want to take that risk.
Hmm.
Maybe if you don't beat it up as much as the other guy, that gives you an advantage.
Yeah.
But track position, also works.
Yeah. This is.
T.T. Reese in 9th. He's, an old fossil like me. I remember him way, way, way back. I mean, we're talking 2003, the year, racing against him.
Yeah.
And, in another league of a guy that co-started FSB and moved on. And so he's been around forever. It's good to see him out there. Of course, the venerable one there, Pop Smartison in 13th.
Getting a little slick out there for some guys. I know Benny just caught the wall slightly.
Yeah.
And Bryce there in front of him, he's kicked it sideways a few times, so I'm kind of wondering what the state of their tires are.
Well, when you saw how bad Guy Pitcho went south, that tells you a lot, So
The track
let's
has
see,
actually cooled down a little bit.
So now they probably got like, oh, boom. Oh yeah, okay. I got two screens here. I'm watching the what you had already talked about there. That was a hard lift. Hard on pit road. Not sure who that is.
Let's see who's on pit road.
Looks like we got Craig was on pit road, but he's. I don't know who's on pit road.
We don't know if some of the guys in the back stay. Everybody else pitted, right? So.
Yeah.
So this is like, 14, 16. I don't think they're going to want to stop now, As the race goes on, you got 100 there, doesn't take a mathematician to start to figure. Of course, I've screwed it up, so. But, you can start to split up where you want to go when you want to pit to break down the pit stops if it goes green.
Got DJ Sorrentino moving up the field here.
Yeah.
He's now in 5th.
Yes, sir.
Coming up on.
Looks like he's got some damage on the rear there a little bit.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I can't really tell.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of dark. No harm, no foul, no blood. It could be just that dark color there in the middle.
Yeah.
I can't see so well anymore. Yeah? Can't hear either.
Yeah. I think his looks okay. Looks about the same. Sam in the pits.
Yeah, that's Sam Young. Proprietor. Throw it in there.
Riding along with Benny Hogan now. Got the roof cam on. He's chipping away at Bryce.
Into the wall again. I believe it, 3 and 4 there. It's a, tap on on the brakes a little bit, and then lift, roll. Same thing here in 1 and 2. Just a little laying on the brakes, and then set the car up, get out the gas a little, let it roll to get that forward bite in the right front. And then as soon as you can point that thing straight, you get ease on the gas. This ain't like, NASCAR 3 where I started in 2000. He just slammed on the brake and stepped on the gas to the floor.
Right.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it nowadays.
Yeah.
You gotta actually drive it.
Tony Brewer making some moves out there.
I'm trying to quit smoking. It's been 4 days. Yeah.
Like he's going to get past Justin.
Yeah, we got Kevin in the pits.
Kevin
He's
Mays.
coming out.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's coming out.
Yeah, Tony got around Justin there.
I mean, it all comes down to conserving tires, I think, because anybody who's raced more than 2 or 3 races with us knows that there's going to be very few cautions. So
Brewer got by Bird there. That 12 car, I love that 12 because it instantly reminds me of Bobby Allison, of course. That old school paint job. These 4 guys that I hadn't watched before. I mean, TJ and Fit there, obviously I know him. Saska up to 6th there,
Yeah.
Here. Not even, it's just coming up on halfway, so.
yeah, we still got
There's
time.
a lot to be revealed.
Yeah. No doubt about it. If you're out there in the chat, tell us who you're here to see. Cheer them on. Let us know who your favorite is.
Absolutely.
Got about 6
we
people
want to
watching.
build on
So
that.
yeah, we want to see who you are. And
Back in
cheer 'em
the
on.
day when Sean was broadcasting and stuff, we would get like 135 views. Mothers,
Yeah.
sons, friends from work, kind of build that, and then interact with the fans on chat.
I remember the one I saw the most, or that was the most faithful, I guess, in attendance was Jim Ray's mom.
No, actually, it was Slim Jim's mom.
Or I'm sorry. You're right, Jim Gately's Jim Gately's mom.
Yeah,
My apologies. Yep.
Jim Gately.
Yep. Slim Jim's
The
mom.
legend.
Yep. I remember she'd always check in.
FSB. Yeah, and that was so cool.
I think Guy finally went in the pits. I think that's who it is. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, he went in the pits.
He went almost 50 laps. I guess he can go 50 laps then.
Yeah, they were going a long time in NIS. Online on like Sunday nights. It's funny because he's used to, racing sportsmanship type of racing. So he has the radio on. He never says nothing, but he just lets it run. I don't. He's probably laughing there. These guys just amaze me. Oh, league racing, especially here, is so much. Especially if you're trying to, get started, and you want to be able to learn how to race, learn the sim, learn your steering wheel, learn your rig, technical support,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff in a chill environment.
Let's see. His last, he was doing 29. He did a 29.8, 30, 30.0 lap, and he just did his hot lap out 29.3. So you can see what getting
Wow.
new tires does for.
That's a huge difference.
That's a very big difference. What that does.
Well, what he doesn't want is to get caught a lap down.
Yeah, he's a lap
Hold on,
down right now.
He wants this to cycle through and everybody else have to green flag stop, and then he'll be in the lead, and then then he's going to want a caution.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, you got to take gambles if you want to win. FSB is small, but these are still great drivers. I mean, it's not Dale Earnhardt Jr., but these guys are really good.
Yeah, he's coming up on the leaders right now. Let's see if they're just going to let him go, or I imagine they will.
They might as well at this point.
Yeah.
Be smart on how hard he pushes those tires, but I watch him all the time. NIS races, and he's always really good at that. You race for a legitimate. You want to race to win, obviously, but sometimes like up there, it depends on the split and how your I rating is and all that. Here you can come with out of the box. If you can buy the car, you can race here. Up in the lobby there, you got to do a lot of work here, which you probably should do anyway. But thought about all of it,
Yeah. So he got one lap back. He's still a lap down. He was 2 laps down from that pit stop. So. Oh.
Yeah, and if they stop and he stays out, he gets the other one back.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's got to make up a lot of time here to see if he could
make up time, but he's also got to, he's made his bed.
Yeah.
We got Rob Stewart hitting the pits now.
Oh, they're starting to think about it. Stewart down there lower, Great race last week at Coda.
Well, that was insane. That battle for second.
Didn't end up like you probably wanted it, but that's racing. But those dudes went at it all race.
Yeah. Yeah, even though I wasn't in the booth, I had it. I was watching it. It was a really good race.
We got a new subscriber. Dropped us a line telling us that the number 12 car of Tony Brewer is her brother.
Hey.
So she's here
cool.
to,
There you
here
go.
to cheer on Tony.
Yeah.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you as a viewer. Glad to have you as a subscriber.
Yeah. Tony's all over the bumper right now, bidding. So.
Every time I've seen him, he's always up at the front.
waiting to see DJ work his way up here. He's sneaky, working his way up the field.
Look at this battle here with the 12 and the 77.
Oh, 77's coming.
Got somebody.
77
Got
goes into
Benny
the pit.
ducking into the pits.
Benny and the Jets. iRacing's a little easier on pit road than some of the former sims, like NASCAR 2003. Still got to hit your marks and everything, but you don't have to worry about crowded pits and stuff, which I like because, it's hard enough to just get around the dang track.
Because DJ's going to pit with them. Probably a smart move.
Yeah. You don't want to give up.
Here.
Yeah, you just want to pit with them and hope you can make up some time in the pits. Maybe they overshoot their pit stall or busted for speeding or something. But
Yeah.
Now, as a driver, you're always thinking about where did I qualify? Pit stall, and all of a sudden you got to pull that out of your yin yang and say, okay, I'm right. Did that guy qualify in front of me or behind me? So where is this pit stall going to be so I can get to it there? Oh, look at that,
it's a
side
battle
by
of
side.
pits.
Pit stall.
There they go. Launching it back onto the track, man.
Yeah.
Racing here as they pull up.
Yeah, I think
Old tires.
he got a little loose, but he kept it straight. Oof.
What did we say? Guy Pitcher
Oh.
went 50 laps.
93, getting loose.
Yeah.
The longest
You gotta be careful.
you can go.
New tires, boys.
Yeah.
Theoretically now, the pitted can go the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And obviously, I would guess fuel's probably less of a concern than tires, probably. Well, 50 is 50.
Yeah.
Love Tony's paint job there. Hey, and Bobby Allison, man, my dad never raced against him, but he missed out on the 1974 IROC, the International Race of Champions. But Goodyear hired my dad as a tire tester for identical Porsches. So he got to actually meet Bobby Allison there because Bobby Allison was in, IROC.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was at Riverside, the track that should still be around.
Yeah. Something happened to Benny. He must have had a bad pit stop. Or...
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. He did kind of fall off a little bit.
Yeah, he's 5 seconds back.
Well, you wonder how many laps he waited, or if at the same time, something happened there.
I can take a look.
This battle for first is no joke right now.
Yeah.
No. Folks, I've done a lot of sim racing. You don't know how hard this is and how cool these guys are making this look, man. This is some badass racing right here.
He seems to have a normal pit stop.
Pit entry, exit.
Yeah, I can't.
Little bumpy going on there.
Oh,
To
yeah, I couldn't really see anything with Benny. He just must have getting into the pits was slower, but I don't know how 5 seconds slower. But this battle up front is getting intense.
Yeah.
26 to go.
6 of Stuka. We haven't talked about him all night, and in top 8 there, kind of hanging around and running, in that pack.
Yeah, Craig's one of our newer drivers. Not new to iRacing, but new to the league, I think. But he's done well in every race I've seen. He's been exceptional. I'm really curious to see. Hopefully, he comes back next season. I really want to see what he can do in a full season.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you get used to, like, okay, we're gonna run fixed setups. A lot of times it takes on, how much practice guys get, or everybody's got to do life, so.
How about TG? TG's still out there. Rolling around.
Grizzled veteran right there.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Always such a pleasure to race against him back in the day, and then broadcast his races at FSB. Always just a positive new dude, That's how you've been in a league for like 20 years. Can't be a butthead.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're not going to stay around too long in this league if you have a bad attitude.
Well, obviously Hogan really, and they'd like to see a caution. Stewart, Soska, I think watching Soska this week and Guy, there was so many cautions. The guys were like, man, I just want to go to bed, I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
How many cautions are we supposed to have here? Whoa, DJ, way up he's arcing that corner.
Yeah, he is. Kevin Mays popping out of the pits there.
Like his car, he had to pit early, and so you knew he was going to have to pit again. But a solid race, just making laps, clean,
You got Benny and
Clean
Justin
race.
having a little race here. Third. Yeah, Tony and Roger.
So he caught him, so.
Yeah.
The 13 and Bird, the upside is, from what I hear and how new he is to doing this, incredible. And
he's a heck of a driver.
Man, when you just, there are people, that are just, exceptional, like Mario Andretti, AJ Foyt, just drivers like that, Richard Petty, on and on. They were born to do that, so you just don't know where the ceiling is. Old Slick Willie B in the car now doing iRacing. And started running like, legends and stuff like that. Boom, boom, boom. the ladder. You never know. Especially if these guys are young. You know? I still, last year I was watching Johnson, who was a longtime FSB driver, along with his dad, Brian, on TV running the ARCA race,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he doesn't live too far from me.
I think he's made a few ARCA races, hasn't
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with the Greg Van, or I think his name is.
Yeah.
Well,
his
he's
team.
trying to do some Xfinity, but man, I mean, the hardworking people with not very much money trying to compete against more money is pretty hard. But just to be able to get there up there, and the point is that you see that all over iRacing.
Yeah.
Wants to be a real race car driver.
he? These guys are still going at it for first place.
Yeah, they just got around Guy.
Yeah.
Put him. He got the lap he got back is now
He lost
back
again,
the lap
dang.
down. Yeah.
Well, one thing I know about Guy Pitcher too is all the time he's so clean and understands. Never won a race, which he's won races, but if he never won a race, he would have fun, And if he thinks he's not going to be up to it, too pace-wise, he will, run his race, just get a good finish.
Yeah.
And be totally happy with that. He'll never try to do anything he can't do. And these guys, I don't know. At some point, we're gonna have to spend a lot of time focusing on this because we got 14 to go.
Yeah.
It's coming, but
I think it's time to take a look at these gentlemen here.
Yeah.
I think they've been running it pretty hard since that last caution. So, I mean, that was a long time ago. But I mean, I guess they can run it harder. We're about to find out.
Tony down
here
low
soon.
there. So now they're both using the apron.
I mean, at some point, I think you got to start taking the dog leg.
Yeah.
Like,
did that lap.
you got to defend that line, so you can't really give it up. Oof, little contact there, but that'll happen.
It's not going to be the last contact you see.
No, not at all. The way these guys are running.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, sportsmanship, all that stuff, but these guys are also here to race. So
yeah, it's competitive.
Eventually, you got to duke it out, and if you wreck each other, you can't just be so worried about not making a mistake that you don't put on a show. And these guys aren't really, obviously, aren't worried about that.
Yeah.
You got the inside line, you got the outside.
Don't count Benny out yet. Benny, I think, is making up some time here.
He
Wow,
is. Yeah, Bird going backwards, so off the air. Saw Benny do that in the first run. Yeah.
He was back there and not
He sure did.
kind of out of the picture, and all of a sudden, where did he come from?
Yeah, we might see that little trick again here soon.
Yeah. He has the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah.
So.
You know, is Tony gonna get lap traffic here? He makes nice.
Oh yeah, TJ gave them plenty of room.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows the leaders are right there.
Well, you
Ooh,
know,
Bryce
you
caught
know,
the
they
wall
say
just a little bit.
you're here. Oh boy. What do you want to do when you're in the lead? You got the lead. You know, don't be so scared. You overdrive it, and yeah, that was a hard lick. I don't know. Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, not sure how that. Ooh, he caught it again. Dang. Yeah, his car might be done for, or his tires may be done for at least. Something is not
Well,
functioning as it
yeah,
should.
he pushed it to
Yeah.
catch Tony there. Now you're in the driver's seat here. You don't want to see a caution here.
Here comes Benny. 6 to go. I think he's going to catch him.
Yeah. Now, can he get around him?
I think he'll be able to. He's a little bit faster right now.
Oh, Benny nailed that wall. Right on that bumper. Benny's gonna take the dog leg.
Yeah, I say he's got to start doing it at some point, and I think he's going to eventually get him.
He takes a high entry. Is he gonna cut the? No, I thought he would die. Nope.
He's
All over him. This is exactly what Brewer wants to see.
Yep.
Guys, just
Oh,
have
yeah.
some fun right here, and
Yeah.
I'll go on and take the trophy.
Yeah.
And then 3 now, yeah, 3. This is the show right here, though.
Yeah. He's got to run. He's gonna
yeah,
take it.
he's going to get him right there.
Yep.
I think Bryce is going to give it to him. Oh,
Oh
came
no!
right up there.
Oh, no.
Dang.
Hard into the wall, and that's 3 to
Oh.
go. If the caution comes out, we're going to have
That
a
was rough.
green-white checker.
It's going to be a green-white checker, I believe.
Yep, it is. We got a green-white checkered.
Let's go back and look at that replay
Checkered,
here.
well, fans, what did you want to see? Oh, hard against the inside wall there.
Oh wow!
Buster was off the hot dog there.
Oh no!
Pieces of the 93 falling off on the track there.
Yeah.
I just saw the deck lid fly on the track there. NASCAR's definitely, you know, the AMR safety team's going to have to pick that up.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice replay here. I'm a little bit behind, so I'm watching it right now. I mean, they're going for it.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you really call that one.
I don't know. I mean,
You know what? I'm going to call that racing, dude.
Yeah,
That's racing.
I think that's
I
almost what you
mean,
got to call it.
there was no malicious intent on the 77 or the 93. They were side by side and just barely touched, and it hooked the 77, spun them around. That was definitely, you know, when you're driving and you're in that position, you can't just change lines. Like you're gonna, oh, snap! I'm next to him. I need to move over a car length. When you go into that corner, you're committed. Man. It's amazing they don't hit each other more often, and that was just hard racing. You know, sucks for both dudes, but I wouldn't call that, you know, anything but hard racing.
Yeah.
Hard. I was coming in to say that. Good evening, gentlemen. Yes, hard racing.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You
No
know,
doubt. And
there was-
your replay was excellent. It showed exactly
Yeah,
what happened.
beautiful.
So excellent.
Sure.
I think I said.
We're on this, man. We got something going here, man.
Yeah.
DJ
Pretty good. We got
Sorrentino,
good racing,
you're a leader
we got
now.
Good broadcasting. What do you do now, boys? DJ in the lead. While we were talking there, did we get a pit stop or?
You know, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check the log here. Who went to the pits and who didn't?
He did not.
He did not.
pit.
Okay.
No.
Well, I mean,
Everybody else pitted.
Everybody else did except him.
he might
So,
be able to make it
here
work.
we go.
I don't know.
Here we go.
Do we get a tire limit in
I
this
think
series?
it's three. Three is the limit.
They
Yeah.
had fresh tires.
Yeah.
Everybody behind him has fresh tires. So here we
Oh
go.
boy.
Here we go.
Same thing. DJ is going to get ate up here.
Yeah.
He might be able to get he's gonna get a little bit of jump
That's good
though.
stuff.
But I think he realizes maybe he's.
Oh,
no!
we got a spinner.
That might have been what he wanted right there. That might be what DJ wanted.
No caution. There's still
No caution.
still going. No caution yet.
With those fresh tires, see ya.
Yep.
You know, that was a good play there by DJ, though. Go for
Yeah,
it.
I can't be mad at it. I mean,
Win
if
for
that
the win, that was excellent.
would have been a caution, he would have walked away with it.
We still got a fight here.
Yeah.
Tony's got the.
Tony and
13
Justin.
of Justin Bird.
Yep.
Ken, right there in third, man. Where'd he come from?
Yeah.
The veteran.
All right. And Tony Brewer's going to walk away with it.
Oh,
Justin
don't give
Bird
up.
P2, Ken Soska P3.
Yeah.
Nice. That just goes to show you how fast things can change, man. Like, it's crazy.
Looks like Rob got third or fourth.
Rob's in fourth, DJ's in fifth. Awesome.
Are
Good
you
race.
not entertained?
Good race. That was
Not entertained.
I hate they got together like that. I mean, they were racing hard, so it was bound to happen. But
Yeah.
you know, it's just racing. I mean, it's going to
That
happen.
was- yeah, it was just good racing. That
Yeah,
was-
it's going to happen.
You know, I could talk. I'm good at that. But, you know, if you don't have nothing that's entertaining to talk about, then, you know, you're just talking. But some badass stuff right there.
What happened? I guess
I get
Benny.
to have my buddy Ken Soska in the booth, too, man. That's
Yeah,
my teammate.
I said we need to go round them up. See if
P3,
Justin
the
and
donkeys, yeah.
Ken and Tony. See if Tony wants to get in here.
Yeah, I don't know if you should check out Justin's view on that restart, because he about got taken out when Benny spun.
Oh yeah, I'll have to
You
look
should-
at that.
Yeah, you should definitely replay
Let's
that.
go. Yeah, let's go back and
Play
look at that real quick.
We want to see that, folks. Because we just saw this, but I'd like to see it again. Maybe two or
Who'd you
three
say it
times.
was? Justin?
Yeah, Justin. I'll play it for you, or at least
I'm going back on it right now here.
yeah.
Yeah, go back on this because we got to see how badass the end of the race was.
Yeah, you got to watch that at the end.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
That one
hey.
was intense, man.
What's up?
That was fun, Roger. That was hell of a race.
That's a
man.
wild race, man.
That was
We're
good.
going back and
I'm
looking at the
Showing
replay
like
now.
we were showing the replay again at the end there of what happened because that finish and that whole race, but that finish needs to be seen again. You know,
We're looking at the replay now of Justin Bird, as he almost got taken out whenever Benny spun. want to slow mo it here from the roof cam. You see Justin cutting it low
Yeah,
and Benny coming
I'm
all right
about
across
yeah,
him.
I'm
Look
about
at that.
20
I'm gonna
seconds
pause
back
that.
here, so
I'm pausing it right now just so we can see it. But yeah, it's
cool.
extremely close. Oh
Slow-mo.
gosh. Oh, I accidentally hit the live button again. Oops. Oh well. But anyways, yeah, you guys get the idea. That was a very very close call there for Justin. So I'm glad it worked out for him. All right.
Ready.
Milt, you want to round up the others and we can do a little post-race interview?
Okay. I think we got Ken Soska in here. All we need is Mr. Bird. I think.
I'm here.
Oh, he's here. Oh, you're Brewster?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on.
Brewster.
So who else do we need here?
We need
winner
Justin.
here.
We need Justin Bird. That's who we're missing. We have Tony and Ken.
We need Justin here.
Post the results here.
I think he's gone.
Good win there.
See him
Tim.
in,
Thanks,
see him in
man.
the chat. I don't see him in the chat, so he must be gone. So
Dang. All right, let me get Tony's car up here on the page.
well, I'd like to hear from Justin too, because that was a badass race from his point of view.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's incredible all the way around. I mean, just a good show from everybody. It was very fun to watch from up here in the booth. I will say that.
I hope it was
Yeah.
as exciting as it felt in the car, because I was wailing it, man.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Yeah, so-
Tony, you had a fan in the chat tonight watching your race there.
It may have been my sister. I told her to watch.
That's who it was. Yep. She was checking in.
It was, man.
She was checking in.
That makes it even better.
Yeah, man.
We're
So
building a viewer base here, man.
I'm here
Yeah.
Just to-
oh, awesome.
on
Justin's
my
here too.
Facebook too, so I might have had a few people watching. We'll see.
Okay, awesome, man. Appreciate
There's
that.
Justin. All right, so we got everybody in here.
Yep. All right. So tell you what, we'll start at third and work our way up. Ken, this was a very exciting race. We were just talking about it. Watching you guys run around, it looked a little slick out there, but everybody seemed to manage it pretty well. So how did things play out for you? Because it looked like you kind of came out of nowhere and secured that third spot. But
Yeah,
we're just curious to know how your run was, man.
Oh yeah, it was good. That green white checker definitely was to my advantage. It was a little slick out there, like you said, but I've been running Phoenix all week in other cars. I just hadn't run in the Xfinity car yet. So yeah, I got off to a decent start and made the right call on that first yellow to pit. A bunch of people got caught out on that who didn't pit. And then I was like, I think running sixth. That's pretty much where I was going to end up. And then the green white checkered came and managed to get myself up to third place for that. So that was good.
That's awesome. Yeah.
A lot of fun out there.
Yeah. It was, like I said, it was a very exciting race to watch. We enjoyed every second of it. There was good battles all the way around. Guys were battling for first, second, third. I mean, it was just nonstop action all across the board. But yeah, good run.
Yeah,
out there, man.
watching you, Ken, on the phone a couple times. You and Guy both running NIS and different stuff there. You have some laps in, great managing of the race there, and I knew you'd be there at the end, so great job getting the podium.
Thanks, Milt. Yeah, definitely a fun track. I like this track.
That's my teammate, by the way.
Justin, man, we'll go to you next. We were just watching a replay, and it looks like you were very close to being taken out there at the very end. I think I was Benny Hogan that just slid right across your nose, but you managed to avoid it and continue on. So yeah, man, what happened out there? Tell us, how you managed to get that P2 position.
Well, maybe a little bit of luck. It was super slick out there, and kept
Yeah.
getting my tires overheating, trying to keep up with them guys up front. And then at the end, they got into each other and had that restart. And good thing I did go all the way down like that. If I didn't, I probably would have definitely got into him when he come down. Honestly, I don't know how I avoided that wreck. That's probably about as close as you can get.
It's very, very
Mhm.
close. Very close.
Through there and just kept going. I knew I wasn't gonna get first, but I was just trying to do the best as I could.
Yeah, sometimes it's what it's all about, just holding what you got and just trying to make it through. Those last few laps can be, survival mode kicks in, and you just want to just keep your position and try to avoid any contact.
Hey, did you pit before that green white checker, Tony?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah, me too with tires. I think that made a big difference for us too. I just thought of that. So I guess some guys didn't pit.
Great win, by the way, man.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, Tony.
That was fun.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
that was,
just
that
real
was
quick
awesome.
with Justin before we get to Tony, which that was a badass race, but I don't know, man. Just starting to watch you and see. I don't care if it's road course, speedway, oval. These guys you're racing against, I don't know how much experience you have, but these guys you're racing against are really good drivers, and in a league here, and you're fighting for the win every single race. That's wow,
Yeah,
man. That's
very true.
impressive.
Very,
It's a
very
great
true.
group of guys. I enjoy racing with them.
Yeah.
Try to shoot to be consistent and trying to have fun, man.
Awesome. Yeah. So Tony, well, first question: how long have you been racing here at FSB? You're fairly new, right?
Yeah, I think this is my third race with y'all.
Okay, right on. Yeah, I knew I'd seen you out there a few times, and I also knew that you were fairly new, but you're definitely you're fitting in very well. You're a very competitive driver.
Well,
So
man,
we
I'll
love
tell you
to
what,
see that.
Y'all are, these guys are great to race with. They're clean, and that's what I like. Battle it out.
Yeah, that's what this league was built upon, and that's what we strive for, is just clean racing and sportsmanship. But yeah, so how were we able to navigate the track? With it being as slick as it was, like, what was the tire wear like? I guess I don't think I've asked anybody that yet.
Well,
how long could you make it on a set of tires?
It was slick, and what I tried to do was just manage my tires at the beginning of the run, try not to overheat them, and it seemed like the car just came to me as long as I didn't push too hard. And then me and Roger got to battling, and I was pushing, but it was fun. That was one of the funnest battles I've ever been in. It was great.
That's awesome, man. We love to hear that. Yeah, it was just a great show all the way around. I mean, it always is, here in this league. I would be surprised if we had a race that wasn't exciting, especially coming off of last week and that road course. That's definitely one to watch. If you haven't seen that yet, I would highly recommend checking that one out.
Well, I would say if you don't like that kind of racing, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's very true.
Yes, sir.
I agree.
Right
That's a
there.
much simpler way of putting it. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. But all right, guys. I think that's all I got. Milt, Adam, anything you guys want to add?
Real quick, Tony, every time I've watched you, and I think I broadcast like 2 of your races, and obviously never seen you before, and you're always right there in the front. What's your experience in iRacing? How long have you been doing this?
I've been on here right over 2 years, but before that,
Wow.
like when I was a teenager, I played NASCAR Thunder and NASCAR Heat and all that. So, like, I'm not new to racing, but I'm pretty new to iRacing.
So, your inspiration, like everybody that gets in the same racing, especially iRacing, is, watching the real guys. And, I think I could do that, or I'd like to do that,
Yeah, I love racing. I watch it all the time, and I would just I would love to do it for real.
Yeah, I think everybody in this room could say the same thing. All right, brother, man. Yeah, great job. Hope to see you
I
next week.
appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
Hope to see you guys back next week. I'm gonna check the schedule real quick. I'm not sure right off the top of my head where we're gonna be at, but it's looking like we're gonna be at Las Vegas next week,
Yeah,
March
that's the
17th.
schedule.
Yep. Las Vegas, Homestead, Miami, and Martinsville are the 3 races that we have left in this season.
I love Vegas.
So yep, we're coming down to the end here.
Viva Las Vegas.
That's right. Well, we hope you guys can join us for that one. But as for tonight, I think that's all I got. Again, guys, great show, great run. We love having you guys out here. You guys make this broadcast possible. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down.
All right. Thanks, Nick Milt, for all you do, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. You guys have a good
Yeah,
evening.
thank y'all. That was a good race.
Right on.